Trump went after his own supporters who raised millions of dollars to help build a section of the border wall down south because there are reportedly structural issues with the crowdsourced stupid wall. He tweeted, "I disagreed with doing this very small, tiny section of wall in a tricky area by a private group which raised money by ads. It was only done to make me look bad, and perhaps it now doesn't even work." That section was built by Trump supporters. Steve Bannon is on the board of directors. The nonprofit was called We Build the Wall. Over $25 million raised by his supporters. But if the wall is falling apart, then it gets in the way of this narrative, which is trying to distract from the pandemic and economic collapse.
It's been going along. We're up to 250 miles, and that's real wall. That's a wall that you don't get through. It's tough stuff, and built to the highest standard, built to everything that Border Patrol wanted. They all sat down and they designed their perfect wall, and then we said, let's build it that way.
Yeah, the perfect standard talking point falls apart when the wall is falling apart, which is apparently what's happening. Trump's trying to distance himself from the group run by his supporters with allies on the board, and ProPublica reports that a federal judge called for an inspection of the erosion on this section of the wall that was constructed by this conservative group. It's even harder to distance yourself from this wall construction, Donald Trump, when, okay, you could say, oh, it was just run by my supporters, it was made by my supporters, I didn't really have anything to do with it. Well, he had absolutely a lot to do with it, actively encouraged it, and the company that constructed it got money in federal contracts. A private company that President Trump targeted for criticism over its efforts to construct a barrier near the U.S.-Mexico border reportedly received $1.7 billion in federal wall contracts after lobbying the president personally on cable news. The Texas Tribune reported Monday that Fisher Sand and Gravel received $1.7 billion from the Defense Department and the Army Corps of Engineers for what has resulted in a stretch of about 3 miles of border fencing near the Cabeza Prieta National Wildlife Refuge in Arizona. Originally, the company indicated that it planned to construct more than 30 miles of border fencing, but the project has become mired in legal battles as government attorneys warn the structure is endangered by recent erosion, the news outlet noted. Trump himself supported the project and inquired personally about the company's bid for funding after witnessing CEO Tommy Fisher's media appearances on Fox News and other cable news networks, during which time the company official claimed that the fencing could be completed quickly and for low cost. God, how much does that sound like Trump? Getting your cues on major government projects that you centered your campaign around, by the way. I thought Mexico was going to pay for it. From cable news, falling for grifters who are publicly lobbying for him to give them money on cable news, and trying to cut corners so it's done cheaply and easily, and then it predictably falling apart. That is Donald Trump in a nutshell. That's how he ran his businesses. That's how he's running the country. This story is insane, but his supporters, the people that donated to this company, they're just gonna take it. Like good little authoritarian bootlickers that they are. The fact that he's criticizing them and saying it's their fault when this is directly his project and his responsibility, they're like Reek in Game of Thrones. Yes, sir. Yes, master.